What's up, y'all? I'm sitting in my car today, waiting for my daughter to get out of a function that she has to attend. So I figured I'd record a video in the car. So you'll probably see people walk by. They're going to be blurred out. You will hear cars go by. You might even hear horns go off. So I'm in a parking lot. So I want to talk about my mind, how busy it is sometimes. My mind is busy. It stays busy. There's a lot in here that just I start thinking about, and if I don't write it down, it's lost. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do that I need to get done, and if I don't write it down, like I said, it's gone. So my mind just tends to race with all these different thoughts and things that I need to do and other stuff that I have to do. For instance, I'll go this route. For instance, like there's a lot of handyman stuff that I need to do around the house. So I will just start thinking about that one day. I need to fix the paint chips on the walls. I need to spray the concrete. I need to blow the leaves. It's fall down, so you got leaves all over the ground. And then next thing you know, I'll start thinking about the car. Like all of a sudden, I'll say something like I need to go pick up this from the store, from Home Depot or something, right? And then I'm like, oh, well, the car needs this. The car needs some oil, or I need to go get the registration renewed, or oh man, I need to vacuum out the car, and it just repeats. And then I'll start thinking about food, and then, well, I have this at home, so I can make some shrimp tacos, and so I need to get cabbage because I like cabbage in my shrimp tacos. Oh, I probably need to get some hot sauce, or what's it called? Sriracha. I like sriracha in my tacos. I need to pick up some limes. And then next thing you know, I'm like, oh, but I was talking about my house. Talking about the house. I just gotta work from email. So that can happen too. Then I'll start thinking about work, right? So it just races. And then you see all the different tangents that it took. Like I could be going on a straight line talking about my house. Then boom, next thing you know, I'll do it this way. I could be going on a straight line. Oh man, my eyes look so weird. Probably because I got this phone right here. See, there you go. Right there. That's what I'm talking about. Focused on my eyes because it was something different and it looked weird to me. But anyway, I can go to a straight line, right? I'm going to put this phone down here because it's making my eyes look weird and it's distracting. So I could be going into a straight line, and then boom, I start going off on a tangent. Then I'm going this way, going into a straight line, and then boom, going down this way. And it happens like that all the time. So I have to start writing down the things I start thinking about first, because if I don't, I'll completely forget about them after my mind just races over and over and over again. I probably will come back to it, but eventually it'll go away. And if I don't write it down, it is gone. So that's one thing that I like to do to get control of it. The second thing, if I got to just stay focused on it. If I stay focused on that particular task and just repeat it over and over and over again, then sometimes that'll help me make it stick, right? And then if I lose my focus, I'll just focus back on what I was talking about. Like say for instance, I'm talking about my house, getting projects done in my house, and then I lose focus. I'll have to say, okay, stop. Go back to the first thing that you were talking about, which is stuff that you need to get done for the house. And then I'll refocus those efforts on that and just keep refocusing and improving. And that's just to say if I'm driving home and I can't write anything down and I just happen to be thinking about that at the time, It's just that will help me practice getting back on focus on what I'm initially starting to talk about, like things with my house. So it's difficult when my mind starts racing like that. So the one thing that this is going to help me do, which is why I'm putting this on YouTube, is refocusing my efforts to eat. Let me go back a little bit. So if you look at my YouTube videos now, you will see that there are a few things that I talk about. Again, I think I might have mentioned this in another video, if I'm not too sure. I talk about encouragement. I talk about YouTube discouragement. I talk about mukbangs. I talk about working out. I talk about if you're 50 or over, get in the gym. Same with workouts. I talk about if you're 50 or over, 40 or over, get on YouTube. I talk about reaction stuff to... There's this one person that helped me get on, or encouraged me to get back on. I've mentioned that plenty of times. And there are people that are after her now. And so on and so forth. I feel like I'm doing it right now. Right? But I'm trying to give examples of how my mind can just work and race. And it's been this way for so long. I'm 54 years old and it's been this way for so long. Some of the things that I'm trying to help myself do now to get control, I'll just say maintain control, is some of the things that I've talked about. Like, I've talked about the racing. I talk about how it goes off on a tangent when my mind starts to race. So, and then I talked about writing things down. So I think this is how I'm going to have to structure my YouTube. I'm going to have to write basically a list down, like on my other phone. I have two phones. Writing things down and practice the things first that I want to talk about. Because if I don't practice, I'll start saying stuff so weird and random. And I'll have a pause because I haven't thought about what I want to say. I'm an introvert. I'm not used to doing this. And so even though my mind races, it'll hit a brick wall at 100 miles an hour. And next thing you know, I lose the train of thought, or because I start thinking about something else, right? I'll lose my train of thought, or I just don't know what to say. And being an introvert, a lot of introverts are like that, to where if they get stuck in a spot, it's not that there's anything wrong with that, I don't think. It's just that we'll get stuck in a spot, right? And then we'll try to formulate in our minds what we want to say and try to articulate it the best that we can. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's just some of this stuff helps when our mind starts racing, and the next thing you know, we hit a brick wall, and it helps us formulate a thought process or a thought pattern or what we really want to convey in our speech, like on this. So I can feel my mind just working. It wants to get it out, and then the next thing you know, it'll all hit a brick wall just like that, and then boom, I start, okay, what was I talking about? Let me think about this. How do I want to say this? And then I'll come out and start saying it. It'll happen just like that a lot. So, especially when I'm doing I've seen it happen in job interviews too. I will start thinking about stuff. Like they say, tell me a time where you had a good leadership example of where Or tell me a time where you led the team to a winning strategy or something like that. And then I'll sit there and start talking, right? Like my last interview that I had was my worst interview ever. If I don't start thinking about the questions before, like any kind of questions that I think they may ask before the interview, then I'm just toast. Sometimes you can interview when you, or let me say it like this. There is a good chance that they're going to ask you a question there's a lot of people walking around. There's a good chance that they're going to ask you a question that's going to be something that you went over before the interview. It's going to line up somehow, and then you're going to have to pivot and think, how can you formulate your answer that you had previously and add here, take away there to answer their questions, right? The last interview, I decided, okay, I know these people. I know what they're going to ask, or I thought I knew what they were going to ask. And I totally just fumbled the bag. And I'll talk about that interview probably in another video. But during that interview, my mind started talking about one thing. And then next thing you know, I'm in right field. I wound up in left field. And I got super nervous because I knew this was happening. And I'm thinking, geez, Lord, what's going on? Like, why am I doing this? It was so weird. But that position wasn't meant for me. We'll talk about that in another video. But that's just how my mind races, man. It goes. This is like a weird setup. I hope it's not too distracting. I'm going to use this. If it is, then I apologize. But I don't want you guys to see the people. I don't like recording people when they walk by and knowing that they're walking by. And I guess I don't want people to be in a video without their consent. So that's why I'm doing this now. Excuse me. Anyway, off on that tangent again. So my mind races. My mind just goes off on a tangent. And if I don't write it down, if I don't practice the stuff that I want to say, then it'll just come out garbled and goop. Is anybody out there like this? Anybody have this issue? Let me know in the comments. If you do, write stuff down. Write it down as soon as you start thinking about it. You know you need to get it done. If you can't write it down, just practice it over and over and over and over in your head. You're going to go off on a tangent, come back to it. Those are two things that help me. If you got any other tips that can help you or that's helped you in the past, let me know. I'm looking for tips. Like I said, I'm 54, but I love to learn. I'm not too old to learn. You can teach this old dog new tricks. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy this. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you guys on the flip. Deuces.